Monday, March 2nd. Let's play the Booster Box game. The $400 for 12 booster packs of standard collector booster box game, which is what we play each and every set that comes out nowadays because they all cost $400, give or take, at launch for a box of 12 collector booster packs of standard. Remember when I used to complain endlessly, and many of you said needlessly, at the fact that these cost $240 a box? How I long to return to those simpler times. What's wild is that technically the MSRP on a collector booster box of Ninja Turtles should actually be more, $450.88. That's because the MSRP per pack is $37.99, which means if you go into your local game store just to, pick up a pack, it's probably gonna cost you about 40 bucks. What's interesting is if we look at collector booster box prices going all the way back to the start of 2025, we can see the price that I had to pay for the collector booster box game, which is indicative of market price at the time here, and then look at the cost per box if you were to pick one up on the market today. For the most part, and there's one exception, Final Fantasy, it once again shows that good things come to those who wait, as most of these collector booster boxes are selling today for less than when they were when the set was released. Again, sorry, Final Fantasy. It's the exception that proves the rule. Well, today I'm going to be opening up this Ninja Turtles collector booster box, guessing prices, talking about a few interesting and important things, and seeing whether or not it's actually worth $400, which my prediction now is that it is, because we're still technically in pre-sale pricing, as the set doesn't officially launch until this Friday. But who knows, maybe I should have opened up an Edge of Eternity's booster box instead. Which would you rather have of the last 5 collector booster box sets? Well, I'll give you your choice this Thursday. That's right, it's a Thursday giveaway stream at 3 p.m. Pacific on Whatnot. I'm giving away 5 collector booster boxes from the last 5 sets of Magic the Gathering, 5 for 5, and you get to have your pick, if you win, of course, from those sets. Which do you want? Will you enter? Will you win? Find out this Thursday. Again, it's Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific, only on Whatnot. Whatnot is just like if Twitch and eBay had a baby. It's a really cool service where people get to stream themselves selling items either at buy it now prices or auctioning them off, as well as doing awesome giveaways like the one I'm doing this Thursday. And all the while, you get to interact with the person, come hang out and chat, talk with me, hear me rant without a script, ask me questions. I'm there, it's fun, and I'll even give you $15 to spend in my store or anywhere on Whatnot when you sign up using my invite code. So wow, 5 collector booster boxes of Magic the Gathering, and you get to hang out with me, the Professor, on Whatnot this Thursday at 3 p.m. And I'll give everyone who creates a brand new account a $15 credit when you create it at www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. I'll see you, not tomorrow, 1 week from tomorrow. It's Thursday, March 12th, not tomorrow, 1 week from tomorrow again. But come get a collector booster box, $15 credit, or just hang out with me on Whatnot, sponsor of this video. All right, a couple fair warnings before I open this up. For this set, I am not as tuned into the price of cards as I usually am, and if you watch most collector booster box games, you'll know that I'm not very tuned in typically for those. So I'm going to be very far off on these, and if I have some $400 card that I go, oh, that's nice art, pass it aside and go, whoa, that's gotta be a cool one for a 50-cent card, well, just buckle up and enjoy the ride, I suppose. What is missing from this box? Now, this is kind of unfair question, because it's true about all, and that's pretty, look at that. That's true about all collector booster boxes, but I just noticed it with this one. It doesn't actually say Magic the Gathering on it, does it? Not anywhere. It says Turtles Collector Booster, and it's kind of weird with universes. Now, Lorwyn didn't either. I'm not playing some kind of weird manipulating the facts thing. It's because it's right here under the label, but on the shelf, you don't actually see Magic the Gathering. Does it say it on the packs? It does say it on the packs. I have a lot of thoughts about Ninja Turtles. People have been saying to me that I've been too negative and not negative enough, and I don't want to do either of those things right now. I want to just give some guesses on prices, talk about what I like about this set, which is the art and the treatments, and then talk a little bit about this idea of toxic negativity and toxic positivity, and also just fair negativity and fair critique and fair praise as well. And the first thing that I think is very fair praise about this set is they really did some neat treatments, as we're about to see. It does beg the question, though, and this is, again, me being fair, there weren't really that many treatments for Lorwyn, were there? Certainly not as many as are in Ninja Turtles. One of my biggest concerns with Universes Beyond is the idea that regular Magic sets get less and less attention, be it in design, be it in treatments in the special collector boosters, and I've never sat down and crunched it, so sometimes it's that kind of gut feeling. All right, for the first pack, look at that, zoom in. There's a little special something poking out. We're trying to get $400, and I have been told that during this pre-release pricing period, some of these special treatment cards have the ridiculous, unfair, hundreds of dollar pricing, and that looks right there for it. We're gonna start though with Mutant Town. Mutant Town, not worth $2. This is why in all the future packs we're not guessing the price on anything before the full art land. High Flying Ace, not worth $2, correct? They used to make characters or action figures, and then the cartoon show that I watched growing up would have to incorporate them into the storyline after they made the action figure. And it always felt to me sometimes like I'd be at Toys R Us and I'd see this character right here, Ace Duck, on the shelf. I'd be like, who the hell is that? And then he'd show up in one episode and then never again. Again, I was probably like 8, so if I'm remembering things incorrectly, forgive me. I loved Ninja Turtles, though. I really did. Ragamuffin Raptor. I remember, Bebop. Warthog Warrior. I liked Rocksteady and Bebop. I always like villain lackeys a lot. I always like villain lackeys. Foot Ninjas, not worth $2. Ray Filet Man Ray. I do not remember this character from the cartoon show or the movies. Death in the Family, but that's of course because there is a convergence of all the comic stories, the movies, the video games, all in one. That's actually something I think is maybe a disservice. It touches all shores. New Generation's technique, not worth $2, but it also has a kind of diluting effect where I wonder if they picked a singular style of Ninja Turtle tale to tell and then actually had a story within it. And maybe they go, we're gonna do this specific story, or maybe tell a new story, but it's in the world of this particular timeline or incarnation. I don't know. I feel like maybe a lot of people would be sad they don't get their perfect Ninja Turtles. Please, for the love of God, tell me that the Pizza Land in foil here in Plains is not worth $2 or more. I always say a full art land should be $2 or more. In pre-sale period, is this at least above $2? Turtle Van. All right, so I'm gonna guess some prices here. I think a foil Turtle Van is gotta be in the $5 range, right? $5. Fabled Passage, there's that artwork. It's not foil though. I think that is maybe more about $3.50. Michelangelo, Weirdness to 11. The dial goes up to 11. That's the other thing too, that there's too many copies of Michelangelo and such. But anyway, let's guess that's gotta be like $8.50. Path to Exile with the original April O'Neil art. I believe that's the first. I'm not a comic book expert, but I've learned a lot through osmosis, cultural Ninja Turtle osmosis, and I believe that's the original, or if not original, one of the older April artworks. Path to Exile. It's pretty cool. I think that should be at least $4.50. Oh, this is a big one. I know it. I can feel it in my pizza. Donatello Gadget Master with the special, whatever they are calling this treatment. Show it, editor. Is there a name for it? I don't know the name for this treatment, but I do know this is probably a big card. Are we in the hundreds? Did we just get $200 in pre-release money? That's obscene. That's absurd. If that guess is correct, I will feel shame but that's the guess. Please tell me that just says $40 or something like that. I think these are big though. I think that's a $200 card. Did I just pull a $200 card? Show me. I'm gonna put that one to the side. All right. Well, it's definitely an exciting first start. Obviously, I have a lot of mixed feelings about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I made my video, and my video wasn't so here's the position I'm in. I would rather there not be Ninja Turtles in standard, but my one video where I was being kind of, can I skip this set, was trying to focus. I wanted to not just do the Spider-Man thing again, because we're gonna have Marvel, we're gonna have Star Trek, we're gonna have, what do you think's coming in 2027? I'm not doing prices on anything before the Pizza Land, so just show Pizza Land and forward editor. I didn't want to repeat myself, and I wanted to say, look, people are telling me if you don't like it, just skip it, and I wanted to respond to that. I think Rosewater had a blog, don't quote me on this, he has a lot of blog posts, a lot, but I'm pretty sure there was one where he's like, look, you know, it's okay to just, if that's not for you, don't put it in your deck. And I feel that that's not a fair thing to say, and that's what that video was around. That it's like, well, okay, so I have to quit standard? What if I like standard? I have to, you know, Popper. Turtles has so much for Popper. Do y'all want a video on that? I don't even know if I should do it, because I don't want it to be this just whining that I have to play Ninja Turtles in Popper, but Popper's my favorite format. I'm going to Poppergeddon. If you're in Europe, please come join me at Poppergeddon in a few weeks, in 2 weeks. I will be at Poppergeddon, and I hope to see you there. But like, I don't want to quit Popper because Ninja Turtle cards are in it. So I guess I can't, I have to look at the set. I have to evaluate for my decks. I have to see what the other people are playing. I'm not repeating my points. You can watch that video. What I do, oh, it's Donatello Mutant Mechanic. That is different than this Donatello. All right, Donatello Mutant Mechanic has got to be a solid $20 card in pre-release, right? Come on. There we go. Donatello was my favorite Ninja Turtle when I was a kid because in the cartoon they had personalities. I don't know if this is, it seems to be, based on the cards, something that is adopted, that he is the smart one, and I always liked the smart ones. I loved all the whoever makes the gadgets or is the scientist. It's always my favorite characters. Slash Clone, Super Shredder, woo! That is that like a, I know this is one of the big ones, and in that art, show me $35 pre-release pricing. Boom! Underworld Breach. Our head writer, Jessie Robkin, is visiting, and I'm gonna get her to sign this right now. And oh my God, I can't wait to see her reaction. And you think I hate Universes Beyond, and I don't! She hates Universes Beyond. Dark Leo and Shredder. Are these ones? I don't even know. $20. Special art foil. So that was my real thought process, though, behind the video. Was just, look, I don't want to trash on Ninja Turtles. I want to be honest about how I feel, and it would be a disservice to all of you to lie. It would be a disservice to all of you if I go, okay, what's the popular opinion? What do people want to hear? Let me tell them what they want to hear. I have to be honest. People know my feelings on Universes Beyond, and I also don't like repeating myself, which is why I'm skipping past restating my summary points from that video and all of that. And I just felt that it's a fair point to talk about, can you really skip a set? But I got an enormous amount of backlash from people saying that they were like, so tired of hearing you talk about this. The amount of posts I got saying, so tired hearing you whine about this. And it's like, I did one video on it. I mean, yes, in my top cards for Commander from Ninja Turtles video, I open being silly and I'm like, Tina, you know, but my brand is Old Man Yells at Cloud. That's my personality. When I go out to dinner with my friends, when Jesse and I are gonna go out to dinner and a couple other people that you might know tonight, what do you think they're gonna say to me at dinner? They're gonna say, hey, Prof, you want a spicy oatmeal pizza? And I'm gonna go, no, I don't want a spicy. And they're gonna laugh their asses off at me. And that's kind of our relationship. Not just me and my friends, but me and all of you. Is if you don't enjoy the professor being like, All right, here we go. Oh. I mean, one of my biggest, most popular shuffle up and plays is Prof in Hell, where my own staff conspired to torture me. Like, that's just how it is, yo. Raphael, most attitude. I'm gonna guess on this one since it is the alternate art, even though it's an uncommon. $15 for Raphael. Prof is a cranky old man, and he's gonna make those jokes and whine about stuff. $2 or more for that island, come on. But I only did the one video, and then I get it. I did the best new commander cards, and didn't we already get Gadget Master? No, it's Donatello Mutant Mechanic. Oh, it's Donatello Gadget Master there. All right. My biggest belief with Universes Beyond is there should be one version of most characters, maybe two, and then you go, that's the Donatello card. That's my favorite character is April O'Neil, and this is what she does. And because you used to think of that with Ravnica, there's one Teysa in that Ravnica set, or there used to be. Now they do this with, and I just feel like it's so important that for legendaries, you have this clear idea of what they do. And then you get the new version in the new set, and it's exciting. We're getting a new Niv Mizzet. We're getting a new Niv Mizzet. And if they didn't put everything of Ninja Turtles into the Ninja Turtles set, when we return in 5 years to Ninja Turtles, like we're returning to The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, then it's like, ooh, new Frodo card. But we got so many Frodos. So, well, I guess Frodo isn't in The Hobbit, but you know what I mean. All right, anyway. Irma, part-time mutant. I think that this is probably just a $5 card. Rain Slicked Cups. I keep wanting to say corpse. We've got this, and it looks like, to me, a different foiling here, though, if I'm not mistaken. Is that coming across on screen? This looks like special foiling. Does this bring us into $20 territory with special foiling? Teleportation Circle. My issue, that's gotta be, show me $50. Again, these prices are ridiculously inflated. If anything I'm guessing is true and we're at like $400 or $300, this is not accurate to what is gonna happen when this stays on shelves. But I do feel they juiced these collector boosters, and I don't feel that they did that for Lorwyn, and I wish they had. I wish they had. And that's all I'm asking for, is that equality. Then I did my second video. Here we go back to Prof. Is this cope, kids? Is what Prof doing coping here? Do you enjoy watching an old man cope? But my second video was not about Ninja Turtles. Yes, it talked about Ninja Turtles set design, but that's because it was a small, or the technical term is medium, set. And there we go. It's another April O'Neil. I wish there was just one. That's the thing I believe in. But and then yeah, I did the second one, and it's Stop Designing Sets This Way. I think it's the best video we've ever made. I'll be honest with you. I think it's one of them. Everybody. I got people calling me up in the community. Like, I don't watch, like, a lot of us don't watch each other's videos anymore because we're friends, but we've got so much going on. I don't even want to watch, like a lot of my colleagues' videos too. I don't want to inadvertently steal from them. So we create independently, and there's a lot of content. And I got so many calls about that video saying, you blew it out of the park. It was so interesting, so getting into set design and what makes a good set, and that was what it was about. And we would have done that if I want to talk about how Lorwyn, it should have been 2 sets, so we could have had all 10 archetypes in there instead of 5, and then I feel that was a disservice. I want to talk about game design more, and with Jessie as our writer, we can, because there's a lot of things where I say, like, to her, Jessie, like, Lorwyn, why I want to talk about how it should have been 10 and not 5, and it felt like there were no fairies, and it wasn't working right, and she can then work with me and talk about, yeah, well, here's what's going on. And I go, oh, that's so interesting, let's write this up and everything, and we get to bring those videos, but people are like, oh, you're just, pardon me, shitting on Ninja Turtles, and I wasn't. I'd have done the same video if that had been our Alara video, but I can see how people would feel that too. I really can see how people would feel that, and okay, I'll even grant, okay, I did 2 videos in a span of 3. I did 2 videos in a span of 3 that were essentially critical. Is this like a $10 card? That were essentially critical of Ninja Turtles. The one of them was really about set design, independent of the set, aesthetic, and the other one was about, hey, I feel like I can't opt out because of the standard legality. Maybe some of these should be supplemental sets and commander decks. But you can go, all right, Prof, you just did 2 videos in a week. Negative. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And then prior to that, it was, you know, my variety of product reviews. I gave the commander deck an A-. I think the Ninja Turtles commander deck is one of... The land here too has the special foiling. Do they all? Is that something with the lands? $20. It's pretty. I think it was one of the best commander decks, and I think that... Is this... I can't tell... I don't think this is foil, editor. This is not foil. I'm doing... Another Super Shredder. I know that's the big card, too. Wow. Show me. Whew. Juiced. Just FYI, I bought this at my local game store. Wizards did not send me a collector booster box. Go on down to Puddletown Games in Portland, Oregon. It's a great little place for kids. Very friendly owner who has kids game nights. They don't do big Magic events because it's a very tiny little shop, but it's much more about puzzles and games. But they get the stuff in, and I said, hey, can I go get a collector booster box there? And picked it up there. That's where I bought it. Great store, great owner, great community building. But I'm just always gonna just be honest. I think that the commander deck, this idea, what they did of it's a singular commander deck that you break apart into all these different legendaries and combinations and builds is a brilliant idea. And one of the problems we have with commander decks now is that when you're doing 2 to 4 per set, and there's 7 sets a year, it's too many commander decks and they wash into each other. And they still somehow, amazingly, do a great job on them. They really do. But I think this Turtle Power one was just fantastic. Even though, as an individual deck, it's weaker than, say, some of the better standard commander deck precons that have come out, individually playing, what it offered to experienced, established, enthusiastic players, as well as still providing a great play experience for new players. I just think it was great, and the value was through the roof. The mana base was great, and I said so. I will always say the truth. That's all. I have no agenda other than a love of Magic the Gathering. Please stop telling me to quit this game. The thing that hurts the most is when people are telling me you should just delete your channel if you hate it so much. I love it. I went and I did my pre-release guide, and I told you to go to pre-release. And I hope you did, because I had fun, even though it was Ninja Turtles, which is not my jam. I did not skip pre-release, nor did I want to. This is probably $25, right? Show me $25. I'm going to Poppergeddon, and by the way, not an ad for Poppergeddon, but if you have the ability to go to any Poppergeddon, I'll provide some links in this video's description. But Poppergeddon is an amazing weekend of Eternal Magic. It focuses on Pauper, but there's a lot of other Eternal formats being played there as well. You can go down the weekend of March 20th through the 22nd to Poppergeddon. I'm going to be there. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try and do everything. Definitely going to be signing cards, taking photos. Come on up and say hi. Bring your Pauper decks. Bring your Eternal decks. Poppergeddon is an event that I've wanted to go to for years, and this is literally a dream come true that I will be attending. I love Pauper. I love Magic the Gathering, and when you love something, you can speak critically on it and honestly on it, for the hope for improvement, for the hope that we can maybe be like, all right, like if they had done Ninja Turtles as not as a medium set, as a large set design, instead of a medium set design, I would have had less problem with it. Would I be into the Ninja Turtles IP? No. But I'd have enjoyed it more. And it's not a bad set. It's not, as bad as Spider-Man, but as I said in my video, that's not a high bar to clear. And I think it's fair to say these things, and I want to move on from it. I want to move on to that idea. There's the technique again, but it's only $10 here. Beautiful art. Beautiful art. And I'll say that. That is beautiful art. I think maybe the problem is too many different, when you start going like this, it just starts to look like, what? And I think that two things would benefit. Because honestly, this right here, and this is no special art, I think this, to be 100% honest with you, is more beautiful, more engaging, and more memorable than this. I really do. Now, art is subjective. I think it's definitely, let me know in the comments below if you think this is the coolest art style. And how is this the one that they carry through to every set? They go, you know what? We do cool stuff. I almost said a bad word. We do cool stuff, cool treatments. We try weird things like this. We try cool things like this. But this is the one that every set is gonna have. This is the worst effing F that ever jeffed. I swear to you. But there it is, a magic card. No special treatment, no stretchy art, no alternate style. I think that they should dial back what the special treatments are for each set and say there's a premium version and lean into that and do more cards in that style, but focus on this. And I'm not against being silly in Magic. I'm really not. It's another Donatello. It's the brains. We've opened 5 Donatellos, I believe, 4 or 5 of them. This one's only $8, right? What does Donatello do? Well, it does a lot of things. Up! It's Raph's GT. Except that's the only art where he's holding his sai. Oh, don't even. Anyway, this is like what, $60? Chrome Dome. And a signed art card, which is worth nothing. Don't show any price. Nobody buys these. If you buy these on the secondary market, let me know in the comments. Be honest. If you're like, yeah, I go down to my local game store or my Magic Con and I buy one. I think that Magic would do, not to be like we shouldn't be silly, but I think they lean too heavy into it. And I think a little silliness goes a long way. I love a little silliness. I'm all about, look at me. I'm all about comic relief. Whoa! We got an upside downy. Oh, did I just put them? Oh. Collation issue. Or Prof's a moron. One of those. Is that too harsh on myself? I've got that bad habit. I walk around saying, like, you idiot to myself a lot. I worry I shouldn't do that. It's not healthy. Did you ever see that episode of 30 Rock? This is me in a nutshell. Liz Lemon walks in on Jack, and he's talking to the mirror. And he's looking into the mirror, and he's like, you're powerful, you're strong, people like you, you're confident. You're gonna go out there, he's like giving a speech, right? And he's like, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna knock him dead. And she walks in and goes, oh, sorry, I just talked to myself to, get in the right mind frame before a big event like this. And she goes, oh, I do that too. But then it flashes over to her. And she's looking in the mirror and she's going, you idiot, you're not gonna embarrass yourself today. Stop sweating so much. People hate you. You are a moron. Oh, don't tell your unfunny jokes. Keep your mouth shut. And she's like berating herself. And I'm sorry to say that's kind of me. And now this is not a rare, but it's got the foiling on it. Does that bring the price of this non-rare up to $10? Maybe. Maybe not. So sometimes I worry when I walk around being like, you moron. Like I shouldn't do that, especially when it's like, because I forgot to order bagels. Maybe that has an effect. But yeah, I messed up on one of my Whatnot streams, which by the way, all these cards, I'm going to sign them all. They'll be available on my Whatnot stream as well. That's where they go. I used to sell them back in this, but I guess like if the $400 one, like we'll sell that one for its value, but we like to sign them and sell them on Whatnot. So you can tune in and hang out and we'll talk some more. I do think Brainstorm, that's cool. That's got to be. Come on, people want this Brainstorm for their Eternal formats, for their Pauper decks. $20. It's cool art. I just think they need to dial back on that comedic stuff, and they need to maybe not have quite so many crazy treatments. Pick one. Be like, this is what we're doing, so that it's memorable. It goes back, I think it connects to this idea of the legendary creatures not feeling very legendary because there's 5 of them. And you can't say, what does Donatello? I think it would be a great strength to be able to say, this is what Donatello does in this set. This is what Michelangelo does in this set. This is what that card does. And maybe you hit it out of the park, and maybe it's like, that was a weak one that didn't get there. I don't know. But I think that's a huge, huge benefit. I really do. And I think that in the same way, I get it. They want to have every variation. Donatello's technique. I find it jarring. I find it making a kind of soup of it all. Soul Ring. I find it just makes a kind of just too crazy, too hard to look at soup. Mondo Gecko. There he is. And he's $12.50. Rocksteady, Mutant Marauder. There's something in the lore about him being a pirate. I believe it's from one of the video games. Krang, Mastermind. I was someone I always wanted to get Krang get his body back when I watched as a kid. Undercity Sewers. What artwork. I hope this email finds you well. How this email finds me. I love Undercity Sewers because it is one of the Surveil lands. I'm glad they reprinted it here, but I don't think that's really going to affect the high pricing of it. Let's go ahead and say this is probably a $30 card. And there's Krang Mastermind again. Maybe the reason we have to have 5 legendaries is we just can't. What are we going to, if they only had one of every character, 1 to 2 and no more, what would they fill the set with? And that brings me to maybe some properties are better suited as commander decks or better suited as standalone outside of standard. And I think they just want to make it standard because, so that you feel compelled to buy it, which brings me all the way back to my point about maybe I can't skip this set because it's by design. Everybody yell at me, everybody yell at me, everybody yell at me. All right. Come play Pauper with me at Paupergeddon. Let's get back to guessing some price. Where are we right now? Where do I think we are? So if I'm correct that pre-sale pricing is through the roof, out of control, crazy sauce, then right now we already have our $400, right? Right now we already have our $400. If I'm incorrect and I'm saying $40 for Donatello Way with Machines, and I'm like, wow, well that's what? It's an uncommon though, but it's got this price. It's $10. And I'm way off. This is like $3, right? Even at pre-sale. Then, maybe we're at this point $275. But I think we've actually, I'm gonna lean into my theory that pre-release pricing is through the roof, that if I had waited and to open this, that the pricing on these cards would be significantly lower 1 week from today. And I'm gonna lean into that. All Will Be One. That was a good set. Phyrexia All Will Be One was good. March of the Machines, not so much. We needed some more. We needed a little more stretchy stretch in terms of multiple sets. I would have liked to have seen a better representation of the attack on the multiverse and then Phyrexia's defeat. The idea that Phyrexia's defeat was in the attack on the multiverse deflated it, which is why we got to return to blocks. Who's with me on that one? Who's with me? All right, we're guessing prices. I'm saying that I'd say we already hit it, and now we're going to go even higher. That's my guess, but I think that it's inflated, and I think there's something deceptive about that too. I need to check out if Mana Pool does the same thing, because we are pulling from TCG market pricing here, but I don't think Mana Pool has the same. But it's all tied together because people are going to look at what it is on it like it's market, right? So it all finds this level. But there used to be a time where they didn't lock these prices behind the pre-sale thing, and you got a more accurate idea ahead of the set's release what something would cost. Things were still inflated. Ninja Teen. I think this is maybe only $3.75. Continue. That's a good one. That's $9. Ravenous Robots. It's pretty good. Let's say $3.25. Another Undercity Sewers, but this one is not foil. We're down to 15, right? Donatello Gadget Master. I don't know what I guessed before. I don't know what this one is. It could be $10, it could be $20, it could be $30, it could be $40. We've opened so many Donatellos. Well, hey, and even the it's just all Donatellos, and it was my favorite Ninja Turtle. I liked them all. You know, I liked Ninja Turtles so much I even got the Burger King VHS tapes that you got when you went in and got a Burger King meal and they gave you an actual VHS with a special episode of the show that was not on TV. Do you know how crazy exciting? I think I might even still have them in a closet somewhere. Might be at my mom's house in the garage. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I liked Ninja Turtles. I liked Star Trek. I still do. I just don't want it in Magic. You know the ding. I don't want to go into it. Yeah, so next set is Strixhaven, and I'm excited for that, and then it's Marvel Superheroes, and I'm less excited for that. I think that if we just had fewer sets throughout the year, it wouldn't even matter how many were Universes Beyond and how many were in-universe. How about that? How about the fact that I would be fine with 50% Universes Beyond? Tell me if you agree. 50% Universes Beyond, 50% in-universe, but instead of 7 sets a year, there's, wait for it, 4 sets a year, and they're stretched out, and I actually have time to savor the flavor. It's another Arcbound Ravenger. This one's in foil. It's worth $16.50. The Ooze, Secret of the Ooze. I was so disappointed in the Ninja Turtle movies when I was a kid because they didn't have the personalities that they had in the cartoon. And then I remember in Secret of the Ooze, there was a scene where Donatello was sitting down poking at this little gadget. And I go, oh my God, they're gonna reveal that he's smart and makes gadgets and things. And then he just kind of talks to the scientist about how he felt that there was a purpose to them, and to find out it was an accident made him feel small, if I recall correctly. How can I remember that at 46? And not remember, you know, like what happened last Tuesday. I don't know. So at the end of the day, I don't think that any one thing in Magic is really detestable other than the pricing, which I find detestable. I just made a Blue Sky post about how I think that a $50 pre-release is a bigger problem than any Universes Beyond set. And I believe that. I think Magic should be affordable and accessible, and pre-release most of all. That's my favorite event. There's Thriving More in that little special thing. Show me $10. I don't care that they're doing Universes Beyond at all. I care how they do Universes Beyond. I don't care that they do Secret Layers. I like Secret Layers when done right. I feel they don't do it right. I don't care, Leonardo Technique, about so much of Magic. Well, I mean, I care. Leo's Katana. That is, I don't think, really up there. $5? I just think that the way it's done is the issue. Mikey and Dawn, Party Planners. There you go. Last card, I'm guessing this is 15. I'm going to lean into it. I think we went big. I'm going to say this is, we made money on this, and I'm going to say $500. If it's more than that, then we need to rethink what we're doing on this planet. If it's less than that, I'm going to feel pretty good. And if it's right on the nose, shows I know a thing or two. See you in Italy at Paupergeddon, and show me $500! Yeah, okay, that's a lot, but again, it is pre-sale pricing, and in a matter of days, these prices are very likely to drop, but maybe they won't. You let me know in the comments below if you think they will. I do hope you had fun, and I do hope you've caught the newest episode of Shuffle Up and Play with Olivia, Tappy Toe Claus, Princess, and myself, where we play as though every single legendary commander has partner. It's partner extravaganza on Shuffle Up, and it is an episode that you don't want to miss. Linked here or in the video description, and maybe we can hang out and play some Magic together at Poppergeddon if, you happen to be in the Italy area. Poppergeddon is the largest and most prestigious competitive Popper tournament series in the world. It's also just one of the biggest and best ways to play Popper, an amazing community-driven event that is now often described as a Popper Grand Prix. Remember the old days of Tolarian Community College where I kept advocating for a Popper Grand Prix? Well, that's what Poppergeddon kind of is. But the event is not just Popper, as many opportunities to play and enjoy Eternal Magic formats can often be found on site. It's a full weekend of Eternal Magic the Gathering, hosted by a warm and welcoming Italian community. I'll be at Poppergeddon this March 20th through the 22nd in Lucca, Italy. So if you're in the area, by which I guess I mean Europe, come on down to the biggest and best Popper event and experience a weekend like no other at Poppergeddon. Links in this video description. And of course, be sure to tune in 1 week from tomorrow on March 12th, where I'm giving away 5 collector booster boxes. 5 of them, wow, going back through recent Magic history. Which collector booster box would you like to take home? Let me know as we hang out together on Whatnot and get a $15 credit towards anything, anywhere on Whatnot when you create a brand new account using my invite code. That's www.whatnot.com/invite/Tolarian College. See you 1 week from tomorrow on Thursday. Again, it's a Thursday stream next week. And thank you, Whatnot, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
What's up? It's Shuffle Up and Play. Today, I've brought 3 of the last Yu-Gi-Oh! Tubers to play a real card game.
Okay, wow.
You don't gotta expose us like that.
The worst thing in the world is playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The second worst thing in the world is playing anything else.
Well, we're playing something else today. Island!
What is this? I'm not used to having to pay for things.
Yeah, that must be
so.
post errata there.
You know, it was really kind of you to bring a nuclear bomb.
I just thought I'd mix things up a little bit.
It rhymes with schmolschming.
Well, you can schmuck your...
I could whiff.
I don't think I've seen you whiff one time in the practice you've done with this card.
Oubliette! Oubliette! I'm gonna oubliette it!
What's he doing?
Yeah.